Alright, so the order is case and K?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard. I'm just doing it for the video, to be honest. Alright.
We solve 100% risk of that because the 2NR did not answer our perception scenario. The judicial ruling on rule of law principles in Kiyama, independent of detention, even dependent of letting people just ruling on a rule of law issue that constrains the executive is critical to promoting the rule of law in our parliament globally. That's all for the future proliferation of wonder weapons such as space technology and future exterior launch weapons that will inevitably both destroy the environment and destroy all existence, both animal and human as a whole, which means it is try or die. They've conceded Nigeria must modeling theory with one means it's right now the travel evidence indicate that the president thinks he's constrained by statute means he won't risk it. Our Simpson evidence says the president does not want indefinite detention. He just wants to feel tough when the court steps in for him. That results in his political calculations are causing him to further indefinite detention. Though our travel evidence is phenomenal, the innovation ruling was flawed, and there is a strong legal precedent against it. It means he would not be circumvented. Additionally, the plan solves the reason they redefined because there is vagueness in Bumagini. There would not be vagueness in Kiyama and perception solves this anyway. I'll go to the K. Primary and unright the easy balance at the top. Probably the best way that they can win this debate is on the positive state collapse of them. But first of all, you should have a threshold for an argument because this evidence does not really make one. There's a lot of vague words that we're not really extrapolating the wood in the 2-hour mini timer, please. Second is if we win, the alternative fails, and that means they cannot access this argument because there is no ability to create an alternative system. Third, the White and Ferguson evidence for conceding the 1A or indicate that institutions exist, they permeate our social reality and are structurally inevitable because there is widespread acceptance of the Ferguson evidence indicates this thing is so resilient that things like the Frostwall's concerns are not really even quantified or unable to resolve it, which means it can't be solved. Now, animals outweigh global war means there would be no more animals because we develop space weapons in a world after World War. We develop nuclear weapons in a world after World War. We develop bacteriological weapons in a world after World War. All destroy humans and animals. Means even the planet is on direct action for animals, the result of the plan is good for animals, and animal extinction is never the world we have. Now, they say law can be extended, suspended. All of my answers on certain dimensions solve that anyway. If the rule of law advantage is based off perception as well as democracy, it does not matter if the rule of law can be suspended. Our Western emphasis of the law is resilient anyway, and all of our legalism terms indicate a law can be a strong bulwark. I'll do more work on Plasma later. Now, let them say that democracy does not solve animals. I answer that above. Now, let's go to the framework debate. If you want debate to be a place of activism and social justice, that is achieved best when debate is a training ground. When we talk about the USFG, that is not the product, rather is a process. But by gaining clash on these issues, by having a fair forum or road ties, and to test each other are the only way within a competitive forum to generate skillful cost-benefit analysis skills that allow us to be better decision makers in our lives. This is impacted by organizations. This is not the debate is not an organization, rather by using federal government as an entry point into learning about organizations, their implementational concerns. We can make change. They have conceded Alan Goser that the only way to create change in the real world is by working for organizations. Things like CEDAW's decision to go skin-free at their tournament, or Harvard's decision to only provide vegan meals on one day of the tournament, or instances of how organizational decision-making and resolve all of their anthropocentrism offense, which answers the majority of their offense. They do not access their offense anyway because they were performatively contradiction, even if they are vegans and even if they are vegans, and even if they did say democracy is bad. They also said a constitutional amendment was good. They also said private military contractors are good, and they also are terrible advocates because those are incoherent and when held in assemblage. Even if they condense in the block, that just proves it was strategic manipulation rather than a genuine strategy for action, which co-ops all of the alternative offense and supercharges any reason why the permutation and work is if you conclude that they can overcome their performative contradiction, the permutation, and definitely include the F. Now, if they operate within our framework, they do not operate within our framework. All of our offense takes off having the USFG and implementation concerns. Even if they do, or White Evanston and Ferguson evidence are reasonable. The alternative does not solve because it doesn't engage the lattice work of broader social concerns. They have conceded our evidence from the 2AC on that people will not change their behavior to be non-anthropocentric because they are selfish and self-motivated, which means that the only way to combat anthropocentrism is by talking about institutional change, and that is the only way to overcome the natural public opposition to your alternative. Now, they say we're in the debate space now, but we're a training ground and we lead to better instances. They say even if less fair, but the loss of fairness turns anthropocentrism. Now, we do not bypass education on the government. We allow for implementation on it. This evidence is not very warranted, but now the permutation is best. It does the act and embraces the non-anthropocentric core of the law. The 2NR did not spend enough time on this because you should filter all of their answers through the lens of the 1NC process, where they said that there can be a creation of a non-anthropocentric legal system. That is exactly what the permutation does, and which answers all of this form. We have the 2NR just asserts that rejection is critical.
Answer the plan is a prerequisite to the alt, which means
yeah.
only the firm.
Now, they've also not answered the plans of pre-Brexit to the alternative, which is the Islamophobia debate, because foreign people are viewed as bare life. The people who are deemed as Islamic and Muslim others who are languishing right now and across the spectrum need change to the legal regime so that they can be viewed as having rights. The alternative does not accomplish this because it does not engage in legal structure. It also means these people will be able to spare life. Yes?
We have to physically release people before we can create an ethical system.
We have to physically release the people before we can create an ethical system where possible evidence is a massive discount to your alternative and the net benefit of the permutation. And even if the alternative says that flexibility is bad, by rejecting the law, you allow for people who think that flexibility is good, such as John Yu, to triumph. It means the alternative fails because they will just take the rejection of the rule as a blank check to go to warfare, even if that is not your intention or possible evidence. It's phenomenal and speaks to this difference in intentions, and which assumes all of the 2NR spin on the permutation results is by solving co-options. Law person evidence answers co-options of the state can be reclaimed. There are multiplicities of agencies and different actors inside the state now. There is also a massive value to life to tattoo your alternative and net benefit to the permutation of the vaccine. Evidence says that when you say that there is no value to life to these animals because force has been occurred to them, that does not mean is you acting as an external force of authority and conferring what value is. That is actually devaluation. Fuels into the anthropocentric only the reformers of the permutation and avoid this.